Well, I think timing, I know that timing is the most important thing, at least in our elections. Like if this election had taken place a few weeks back, I think it would have been such a slam dunk for Trump. And I think there's been times where it would have been a slam dunk for Harris even. I think there were times where it would have been a slam dunk for Biden if we'd had the election on X day or Y day. Like a week after Trump got shot,
November 6th.
like if we'd had the election the week after Trump got shot, like I think it would have been nuts. I think he would have really.
That was his highest moment. He wasn't shot, but that was his highest moment.
He didn't get shot though.
He didn't.
Not going to argue.
The videos come out since the bullet didn't hit his ear. What hit his ear was the bodyguard's gun as he like hugged him and brought him down. You can look at the footage. That's the thing now. Yeah,
I don't want to argue it.
That's just baffling. Like
that's why there's no injury.
It
was just hit by the gun inside the holster.
Joe Rogan
friendly fire.
Show me your ear, and he's like, "Yeah, there's a little mark on there. There's a little scar."
Yeah, but he's saying the mark came from the bodyguard's pistol.
Yeah, I saw it. You could see it. Like I watched a YouTube video where they like replayed it, and they're like, "Right here, this is the impact where his ear got hit by the bodyguard as he like wrestled him down."
Yeah, I don't care anymore, and I don't care to argue it. But the election's happening tonight.
I like saying
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I know you do.
That's just so pedantic. 2 people have tried to kill him, and you're like, "Well, they actually did."
Three. It's three.
Is it 3 now?
Is it 3?
Yeah. They stopped the
I
third
don't
guy.
count the ones where they don't shoot. And Zuckerberg did not donate $400 million to the Democrats. I looked into that because it was new information to me. I'm like, what is this? That it was wrong. What he did is he donated $400 million to people that like I guess there was this confusion about whether mail-in votes would get sent to where they were going.
Mm-hmm.
Go fact check it. Look at it. I look up AP, Reuters, the non-biased ones.
I'm listening.
And he made sure that the ballots got there, and then they looked into it and they said, well, did he like make sure that Democratic ballots got there more so than other ones? And no, there was hearings about it.
Do you really think that he put $400 million into
but now
the
we're into the
political
trust me, bro?
No. It's like
checking.
no. We can actually look at what actually happened. He depressed stories that harmed Democrats on the largest networking platform at the time on Earth. He did that.
They looked into it
now, and he admits to it now, and he says he
found that it was pro-conservative, and the reason it was that conservatives cried and whined so loudly that the backlash was much greater when you suppress conservative stuff. And I can Google that too. It just always takes 3 minutes, and we move on to something else.
Like the idea that one of the wealthiest billionaires on planet Earth put $500 million after stating publicly that he wanted a certain political outcome, and that was just money he put into the process for the
But you're on Trust Me, Bro fact.
This isn't Trust Me.
I've named 3 Republican election officials who looked into this and said that it was impartial. And you're like, I don't care. I still think.
No. It's about being able to look at patterns and infer using your mind. He donated $400 million to causes that largely got out the vote in Democratic areas. This is following him suppressing right-wing news.
They couldn't find the largely Democratic part. They couldn't find any impartiality in his donations. And yours is like, hey, use your mind. And
Georgia goes blue for the first time
right? You have to respect your own
opinion.
opinion. I'm still going. You have to respect your own opinions and use your own logic. But like without any evidence, you just say, nah, the evidence that you gave me, 3 Republicans saying that it was good, I think it's wrong.
I guess it just comes down like, can you just not look at a behavioral pattern and infer without having to defer your like almost permission to believe to an election official or to a politician? Like, can you not just look at A, then B, then C? He states he wants this party to win. He donates $400 million to an important swing state that results in that state going blue for the first time in forever. He depresses information that's bad for his favorite candidate on his platform, which he's now admitted, and he has admitted to regretting ever since he's now an MMA guy or whatever. Like, you can just look at what someone does, see the consequences of that, and then use your mind, your rationality to go, who stood to gain from this? Who stands to lose from this? And you can infer what he was trying to do. He was trying to get to make sure Trump wasn't elected again.
See, I do that sort of thing all the time, but I'm wrong all the time when I do it too. So I try to look in a little deeper and see what's up and look for some actual facts, look for some actual people who dug into this.
I guess what I was trying to say was that if Trump wins, it's because, man, they turned out for him. It's because he won white women again somehow. But if Harris wins,
he's won white women every time, just not all women.
That's what I just said.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying this time he might not. I'm wondering how big of an issue the abortion thing is, and it's just like I don't know if I believe any of the polling I ever see, but I just remember seeing so many women saw the Roe v. Wade thing is like a big reason to go vote. Like they were making fun of it. That was the meme. Was like, look, this is all they care about. There's like 80% of them saw it as the most important.
A lot of
issue.
good arguments in there.
Well, they've got the right to vote, so. So I was saying if Harris is going to win, it means that women really turned out, which then sounds to me like a Harris landslide. Like sounds like a Harris like they're going to win some states they shouldn't have, or we didn't think they would. Maybe. I wonder how North Carolina and Virginia, how those states are going to go.
Virginia for sure.
Virginia's usually been blue for a while. My little news ecosystem has turned around, so it's an insulting term, but the Democrats have been bedwetting this entire time. So they led for most of the race until very recently. And even though they're like, I'll take 538, was giving Harris 54 times out of 100, the Democrats are scared and the Republicans are confident with the 46. It's just a different vibe. Trump's telling, we're way ahead in the polls. Don't believe all the polls that don't have me ahead. Only believe the polls that have me ahead. That was the Trump thing. The Democrats are like, oh my God, this is way too close. I'm not comfortable. Until the last week, the Democrats have been like just snorting all that hopium, coming out with great news. The polls have swung in her direction, barely. It's been tied the whole way. But they're filling me with this probably false confidence. Like Harris has this. We'll see. What'd you say?
Coin flip. It's coin flip, man. And we could flip a coin right now, and it would be just as accurate as the most intelligent, well-informed
Nate Silver's final model. The most expensive coin flip model of all time. Like the absolute gall to be like, I'm the most professional pollster. I aggregate all of these and I weight them as I see fit within my proprietary aggregation system. Mm-hmm. And then like I saw for weeks, people are like, everybody's all up on Nate Silver. Just wait. The day of the election, he's going to say it's Harris 50.1% and Trump, 49.9%. And it was like it was flipped the other way, but it was like within 0.8%. And it's like, what is even the point of following someone who's never
538 has the same thing but inverse. They have Harris winning 50 times out of 100 and Trump winning 49 times out of 100.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things. So I watch both liberal and conservative news, too much of it, and the liberal news is saying that the pollsters have been scared to take a stance. That they call it herding. They all just go together and come up with the same results. The people say what they say, and then when they massage the data, they say toss up. They've been doing it the whole time, and they think that it's not the toss up the pollsters said it was. The pollsters just lack courage. I don't know.
No, I could see that. Like their entire identity rests on them being like having some predictive value in their equations and whatnot. If not, what are they doing here? And so like guessing it close to 50-50, it could be, it just happened that way, but it also could be like, these are pollsters whose primary goal, more than getting it correct, is ensuring that they're still relevant next time this comes around. Like it's their job. And so when you set it that close, 49-51 or whatever, you can, after the fact, be like, oh, my model was actually like 98% there. It's just I under weighted this group, and when I accurately weight this group with the hindsight being 20/20, suddenly my model makes more sense. And it's like, well, then of what use was your model? Like,
I follow the most brilliant pollster on YouTube. He said, look, it's going to be one of two outcomes.
Yeah. And Kyle Myers.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would definitely guess.
The Stanley Cup's going to be one of 32 things this year.
It's got it.
It feels very Harris right now, like at this moment. And I haven't really touched the waters. I really messed my sleep schedule up like last night. So I slept through the afternoon today. It was one of those times where my phone was dead too. So I couldn't check what time it was when I woke up. So I got all the way downstairs to my stove before I realized I'd slept till 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Hypothetically, do you think JD Vance would be better at the top of the ticket? I think he was better in his Rogan interview. I think he was better in the debate. I think he's better in general. But Trump just doesn't appeal to me, and he appeals to a lot of people.
Yeah. So. Next election, like Vance is going to benefit by siphoning off that Trump popularity if he does get elected for 4 years. But I don't think Vance does better without Trump.
I think he disappears if he doesn't win this. If he doesn't win tonight.
I can't think of a losing VP candidate that went on to do well later.
Oh, I'm sure there have been. We just can't think of them though. Like Biden was a failed politician for decades before he started winning. Right,
the longest serving senator ever, youngest senator, and old.
I'm talking about the presidency though. Like how many times he ran for presidency several times. I've seen videos of him withdrawing from the presidential race where he has hair. Like, he's a young man. He's like, you know what, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Probably he did fail at running for president many times. And that, I think, is pretty common. People who don't win on their first try. Trump didn't win on his first try.
Of course not.
But I mean, Obama gave so much of that popularity to Biden. Like, Biden has gotten by since 2008 as literally no one has been like, Biden, that's my dude. What a great guy. It's literally like, oh, the Obama guy? Okay. Yeah, we'll do the Obama guy. Like that.
I think
Obama is so.
That's a winning VP though, not a losing one. Like I'm looking for the Sarah Palin who turned around and then won at the top.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Vance is really popular in Ohio, isn't he?
I assume.
I doubt it. He's new. He's like a new. He hasn't even been there that long. Like 4 or 8 years.
Usually that's when they're more popular before they really expose just fucking politicians.
I guess my main thought was: are there any popular senators? Like, I don't know who my fucking senators are. Like Raphael Warnock, maybe. I think there was they won during that big blue wave like 4 years ago or something like that took Georgia back. But like nobody knows what they do. Unless you'd have to be so plugged into politics to care about your state senator.
Yeah, I have no idea what my state senator's up to.
Do you even know if it's a man or a woman, or if they're conservative?
Wait, like the federal liberal senator? Or just like my state, like all the state.
I do actually mean your representative. You're like your 2 senators of Missouri.
The federal ones, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's Ann Wagner and Josh Hawley. Right?
Oh, yeah. I have no idea. I think it's Raphael Warnock and maybe Stacey
Raphael
Abrams.
Warnock. That's a very Warhammery name. I like that. Raphael Warnock.
Yeah. North Carolina has 2 Republican senators and a Democratic governor. Yeah, I don't know
who our governor is.
John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, both Democrats here.
John Ossoff.
Oh yeah, that's right. They both won in 20. I think in why can't I say 2020 they won? I think right.
Yeah. I was super happy. At the time, it seemed like that was enough to legalize marijuana, and they might do it. But then 4 years more have passed. That's why I don't care who wins. That's a big part of why I don't care who wins tonight. Is like I think Harris might actually legalize marijuana federally. She said she would. That'd be sick. And I just don't think she can fuck things up too badly. Biden said that, but Biden's the silly old man. This lady's 50 or something. I like she might mean it, and she's a little black, just a little. Taylor, that means something. Okay. All right. I'm just
that
saying.
Doesn't mean she'll legalize. It means she deals. Jesus God.
Oh, actually, she's also. I think she's very Indian. She's going to own a store.
Let's go from
welcome to Kamala's marijuana dispensary.
Kamala.
We get you change your voice every 2 seconds to try and be authentic, but that is a little. That would be. I think that might. If you could show me a video of Kamala Harris getting in front of like a bunch of Indian women, and she was like, I am so very excited to be on next place. Like, and changed it the same way she does for black people, she might earn my vote.
I could get on board.
That would be hysterical.
No, I don't. I guess I don't care. I am worried about Trump pulling out of my Ukraine war, which I do think is like all of my
thing you dislike about him.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. Also, like, look, it's kind of true that he sort of tried to topple our government and all. It seemed like now what I don't think about January 6th is that he was the evil mastermind. What I think is he's just a goober and he was like, "Oh, things seem to be falling into place. I think I'll just not say anything and see how this turns out." And it's like, whoa. One of the ways it turns out is like maybe they kill some senators and you're the president still.
He told people to go peaceful. Do we have to relitigate this again?
We don't, but you know, the
you've fallen for the Trump two-step though, right?
No, he told people to go peaceful. You've fallen for the media narrative that everything he does is fucking.
I heard every word. I'm up to date. I'm well informed. And he did say peacefully and what did he say? Peacefully and patriotically. But he said a lot more than that. And he said a lot more than that leading up to it. And his people organized it. And he didn't bring in. He watched the whole thing unfold while he let the people.
And hold on, just to clarify,
I don't think
these people that went and did this crazy insurrection that's so wild. They are the most armed per capita populace on the globe.
You act like because they didn't bring guns, it didn't happen.
Yeah, you think you're trying to paint it as a sincere insurrection to topple the U.S. government, and the most armed populace on planet Earth showed up with flags instead of guns.
No, I'm trying to say that they took over the building so that legislation was delayed, and they wanted it to not happen.
The only person, if that many people wanted to shut something down longer than that, they could have. The only person who was shot was a Trump supporter, an unarmed veteran.
A police officer was mutilated.
No, he was not. I saw someone post a funny post online where they're like, well, I went in the voting booth and then I came out with my cup of urine and everyone was mad. And like, I was like, that's very funny.
Did you vote, Taylor?
Yeah, yesterday. Very glad I did it yesterday because I thought I was being like smart because we've had like 2 straight days of torrential rain and flooding. And it really started kicking off yesterday, late morning, early afternoon. And I was like, I know a lot of the line is outdoors. If I go now, rain time, I'm going to get in, quick. That was not the case. I stood in the rain for 50 minutes. And you know how there's that meme where it's like, I don't want to use a umbrella. That's gay. I felt like the gay one. Everyone had umbrellas but me.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it is the fucking gayest thing to be worried that people think you're gay over regular stuff. Jesse Walters... or I think that's his name, Jesse Waters. He said drinking from a straw is gay. Dude, if you're so insecure that you can't drink from a straw or eating ice cream, that's what Tucker Carlson said that was gay.
That's gay.
Dude, you people worry about the most mundane
how you
shit
do these
saying
things.
you're too gay. I honestly
Straws
feel
are
like
not
it's all about nuance, Taylor.
It exposes
you got to understand, Taylor.
Weakness.
The guy was stroking the straw.
Like, it's the pussies who worry about looking like a pussy. The actual guys who are self-confident don't worry about drinking.
I never heard the straw thing.
It was a silly straw.
I have sensitive baby teeth, and so I need my straw for my ice cold soda. I hate glugging it. I need my straw, and I need it to be plastic. I need it to be, petroleum based. But anyway, I stood for 50 minutes in the rain, and then I got in there, and they gave you the ballot and everything. I live in one of the sane states, so I gave my ID, proved I was a citizen. They gave me my paper, and then I was so wet. Like I was sitting on like the corner of this little white table with those those anti-cheat sheet things that they had in school. Mm-hmm. A bunch of those were up, and I thought that was so interesting. It's like nobody's going to cheat. But then I was like, oh, it's probably for privacy. Maybe some people don't care. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I wasn't looking at anybody else's ballot. And so I started
imagine a husband doing that to his wife. I finished
the whole thing. I go turn it in and it like sticks in the machine. Like it got halfway in and like 2 alerts came up. It's like, warning, discrepancy with Amendment 3 and Proposition who gives a shit. And there's this little lady who was the organizer of this little station. And I was like, okay, so like, what does this mean? And she's like, oh, it probably means like part of your ballot got wet. Yeah, it's coming back out now. I can see because I was literally sopping wet like I'd gone camping. And so a couple different options got wet.
You got your ballot wet.
And I was like, okay, so it says at the bottom, just proceed. Is this the kind of proceed that means like $1 not going in the vending machine where all the date, like it's still going to be fine? Or is it like, I need to do a new piece of paper? And she was like, well, no, it'll count the votes. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, well, it just won't count these ones. And I'm like, can I just get another piece of paper then, please? I'll roll my sleeves up. And so I went and I got another piece of paper, had to fill it out a second time, like holding my arm way over the side so I didn't drip. and then I was able to vote like an American. Turn down the sticker. I'm not a braggart. I'm a humble man.
I rock this sticker. I so rock this
forced
sticker
that onto Woody.
I took a shower and transferred the sticker to my next shirt.
You were just making fun of people for straws. That's pretty fucking gay.
But I'm fine.
I should have gotten a sticker from somewhere.
See, that's confidence.
You know, I just realized I wish I had like 8 stickers. And I was just like
from like different counties, just all like it's a bumper.
Different designs. Yeah, they're all completely different. Like one of them's that wolf or whatever, that bear, that werewolf or whatever that kid made.
And you know what's a big problem? It's apparently all of these polling places, they give you the worst pens on earth. These pens are designed to work for exactly the amount of time it takes to fill out one ballot. They are trash. The one I picked up fell apart as I picked it up. I had to pick a different one.
You got to move to a first world state. I walked in. Do you know how long the line was? There was no line. They had enough people to handle everyone who came as they came. I immediately give them my ID. They give me my little ballot. I go to the next station. I fill my stuff out. It was no problem.
Are you in a large county?
It's just because it's really busy here.
Yes.
Yeah, we're in a pretty large county as well.
This is Raleigh. I live in this. In the city of Raleigh, and
Missouri rules beat the pants off NC. Yeah, it's because everyone's here so passionate. Everybody's
cracking a Miller Lite.
Dude, when you vote in Missouri, it's like audible. Everyone around you is like, hope we can pull it out this time, bro. Like literally, that's what voting in Missouri is. Yeah, like pretty much everyone in my area seemed to be going that way. There was this one business-sounding lady in front of me who talked.
Wait, what do you mean that way? Hope we can pull it out. They're going that way. Which way? I assume they're all Republicans.
Hoping that he can pull it out, meaning Trump. Like they're like doing their little wish casting. Like I hope this time might be the ticket. But yeah, it seemed that way. Like this woman next to me, this like mother of 4 or whatever. She was like a bit older than me, and that was a little depressing. Where I'm like, man, these people have their fucking lives together. They have kids. I don't have any fucking kids. And then she's like talking to me the whole time about like how much she wants to vote for Trump, and I'm like, that's great. We're not going to be friends or anything. So maybe we just stand in the rain. Do you see how wet I am? I had the guy behind me. I had a 6'7" tall guy in a Chiefs hat and the biggest umbrella you've ever seen. 3 people behind me. And I have my giant Coke bottle glasses soaked in water. And he's like, get a load of this guy, should have brought an umbrella. And I'm like, you got me. So I'm just, and then meanwhile, I'm going to vote for fucking Harris. You bitch. It really wasn't that big a deal. My friends who went today were texting.
You didn't let him know that umbrellas are for gays?
No.
So wait a minute.
I was the
line's longer today?
Yeah, it's apparently very, very long today.
That sucks. Like it should be easy to vote. It should be pretty convenient. That's why I don't like voting on one day. There should be weeks to get this done.
Early is fine. It's just like you should have to give a fuck enough to not mail it in. Like go in person, participate, and
I think it should be convenient, easy. I think voter participation rate should be high and secure. I'm not saying it should be unsecured. It shouldn't be I don't know. It should be secure
everywhere. That's
say it again.
Like they just need to do the ID thing everywhere. Like
I don't understand why the ID thing is such an issue. Like I've heard it's like racist. Dude, all my black friends have IDs. I don't know.
Everybody knows.
Oh la da.
Yeah, like who doesn't have IDs? That's wild to me. But apparently IDs hurt Democrats for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's because
voting participation hurts Republicans. So they're always trying to make it more restrictive, not vote on weekends, only vote on one day, reduce
make it a national holiday.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a day off. That's popular.
I do like the idea of a day off, especially it's one day every 2 years.
Yeah,
Relax.
for sure.
And I interject here. The day off won't work.
Why?
We're all planning vacations on that day. You give us a day off, especially you make it a 3-day weekend.
No, dude, it's a Tuesday. You can't plan a whole it's a Tuesday off.
Oh, then maybe I take Monday off. You're already giving me voter day off. I can make a 4-day weekend, Taylor.
Dude, if that's the biggest problem, that people are getting nice little weekend vacays out of it, I'm willing to abide that.
I don't know. It'll be the people with jobs taking the 4-day. It'll be the hardest of workers who take the 4-day weekends. They're like, I can't take it anymore. I'm not.
Dude, I've said before, I'm in favor of as many federal holidays as they'll fire out of their guns.
Every day should be some kind of a federal holiday.
Not all. You need.
That's why I'm part Jewish.
Still needs to be special. Yeah, dude, the Jews figured it out. They're like, do you think they'll fall for this one? Meshuggah Gudala.
I'm always celebrating
sacred holiday, and it's actually all of June.
Christmas is 8 days for some reason.
Yeah, they did it right. They have all the
voting should be convenient, easy. Participation rate should be higher. And
I don't know. See, I used to think that it should be mandatory because I thought, like, I don't care.
How would you do?
I just thought that it should be like paying your taxes is mandatory, and if you don't, they come get you eventually. Like, why not make paying your or voting the same thing? It's like, did you vote, dude? You better. They're going to send you a ticket in the mail. Like
you don't want the kind of people voting who it has to be compulsory to make them to vote. Like,
that's
what if you got a $3 discount on your taxes for voting?
$3?
Mm-hmm.
Give me do better than that.
More than that.
Really? How much should I pay you to vote?
Nothing.
Literally, how much should I pay?
Wait, it needs to be better than $3, but it needs to be worse than $3 simultaneously.
No, you shouldn't like. The goal of voting in democracy shouldn't be to have the most total amount of votes. You could achieve that just by harvesting homeless people's votes. It's like it should be good people voting, like people who care enough and give a fuck enough to go out and do it. Like it
should also be easy. I hate that you stood 50 minutes in the rain to vote. That is a legit obstacle to democracy. Voter participation. Now it's Missouri, but. So you guys are going red either way. That was my point with that. Yeah. But I see, for example, these 7-hour lines in the Georgia Atlanta area, and it's like this seems designed to suppress turnout. It is, right? And then you get people like me, that's wealthy people. Fuck, we just waltz right in. They got a DJ out there playing music.
I imagine you literally waltz with Jackie, as you go.
They hired a DJ, so in theory, if there was a line, it'd be more pleasant, but there was none. And
did you go today?
Right in. I'm sorry, I went today.
Okay.
Around lunchtime, and I just walk in, I vote, I leave. Took no time at all. The 3 of us voted, Jackie, Colin, and I.
Nice.
And that was that.
Maybe I just had bad luck. But that doesn't seem to be the thing because a lot of people here are saying there's long lines everywhere. It could just be that people are turning out in super high numbers for Trump because we're a really red state and nobody hears Stoke in the past 4 years.
So
it could be a combination.
So it's like I said the other day. I know it sounded foolish, but I was like, it's going to be one of two outcomes.
Yeah,
but
Copernicus,
the bravery he put on.
But I guess what I was trying to say was that if Trump wins, it's because they turned out for him. It's because he won. He won white women again somehow. But if Harris wins,
he's won white women every time, just not all women.
That's what I just said.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying this time he might not. I'm wondering how big of an issue the abortion thing is, and it's just like I don't know if I believe any of the polling I ever see, but I just remember seeing so many women saw the Roe v. Wade thing is like a big reason to go vote. Like they were making fun of it. That was the meme. Was like, look, this is all they care about. There's like 80% of them saw it as the most important.
A lot of
issue.
Good arguments in there.
Do you think we'll know the president next show? The election's Tuesday.
Yeah, we're gonna know
Thursday.
Yeah,
I think we'll know in 2 days. Did we know last time in 2 days?
No,
I don't remember. So. But
they better. That's so fucking ridiculous to not have it same day. That's so insane.
There are laws that prevent it, and I see it both ways. Like with not the mail-in ballots, they're not allowed to count them in advance, and I can imagine maybe that's intelligence you don't want to even exist, right? Like how the vote's going so far while the voting's still happening, and I can also be like. Yeah, but now we're fucked. Now it's nearly impossible for those votes to get counted on time.
Yeah, like we did this for most of our country's history, where like with lower technology, where like they knew by the end of the night who won. There's exceptions like 2000 where there's a huge amount of
races are tighter than they ever were.
Yeah, they weren't this tight before. We used to know weeks in advance, like who was obviously going to win.
Yeah, so I think it goes that's just crazy to be like, oh, we might not know until 5 days later. It's like, well, that's fucking ridiculous. Get it together. Get it done by that night.
I think we're going to know right away. I think there's two outcomes that I foresee.
Okay.
Well, no shit.
But
Wait a minute. I also see two outcomes.
No, hold on, Woody. He's got this on lock. Let's sit our asses down and listen.
So I just think the only way Kamala wins is if women show up really disproportionately and vote for her. I think that's the only way. Because the polls say she's behind in every single swing state, at least the average of all the polls. There's a couple of outliers, and I keep seeing stuff that he's winning the popular vote somehow. So it seems like it's a Trump slam dunk. So either it is what it looks like, and it's the Trump slam dunk, and right away we're like calling Pennsylvania, for example. Like he wins Pennsylvania, like 56% of Pennsylvania. That's not what's going to happen. But like if he does something like that, we know right away. But if the women show up and right away the swing states are out of play and we're seeing like Georgia swinging back the wrong way, North Carolina swinging back the wrong way, then we're just going to know. That's what it's going to take. Like if he loses North Carolina, like Jesus, the paths shrink dramatically.
I don't think he's going to lose North Carolina. I saw that the Democrats pulled a lot of advertising out of North Carolina, which is usually an admission that like, our money is not best served here anymore. Like the ROI is not there.
Leave this up for a bit. To me, this looks awfully realistic.
Really? Trump getting Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Georgia?
Yeah.
Every coin flip?
I looked at the polls today. Maybe they're always changing, but I just saw him ahead everywhere.
So if let's say he loses Wisconsin and Michigan here, it looks like he still wins, right?
Yes. Yeah, he needs to lose Wisconsin and Michigan have to go blue, and Kamala's winning in that. I don't know what what Zach found here, but the polls that I see, I look at 538 and something else, and I see Kamala winning. He's moving it around 270 to win. He's winning the two Great Lakes stakes, but Pennsylvania is super tight. Trump is winning. I see with like a 52% chance of winning. And then a little better, like closer to 60 in North Carolina and Georgia. And I don't see anyone saying Trump's winning Nevada. So this isn't in line with the polls.
He's going to rock the whole Sun Belt. He's going right through Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. He's going to clean them up, Woody. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be rough. We're going to know.
You might be right. And you might be $100 richer, Kyle.
Where are you seeing this 270 to win thing? Because I went to 270 to win, and it just takes every close state and calls it a toss-up and doesn't make any predictions.
I have no idea. I don't
simulator. I mean, I'm on there too.
Follow this shit. The polls.
I used to look at 270 to win, and it frustrated me because at least on my screen, it doesn't make any calls. This is the toss-up states: Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, all too close to call. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's just not telling me anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, I saw Trump up like 2 to 5% in Georgia.
Yeah, I think he's looking good in Georgia and Pennsylvania right now, and North Carolina. Or at least that's what I saw
about a week ago, and it's been tightening in the last 5 days. I don't know how long it's been, but it's hard to tell. Also, all these polls are a look like 10 to 14 days in the past, and what do you make of that? If it's
I like that Trump's doing like little viral clips and shit in the closing days, and Kamala's kind of doing the same thing. I mean, she's doing her job, but like I think Trump and Vance doing Rogan, getting probably I don't know how many millions of views it's at now. And then I genuinely liked his garbage man stunt, and I think that I think if you win the meme war, you might win the presidency.
This is the kind of poll that I hate to see. Like, it basically takes every interesting race and calls it too close to call. Everything's purple. It's like, all right, so
yeah, it's like I fucking could have made this. Like
exactly.
this isn't helpful. Yeah, have some balls, switch it around,
and
boom.
Yeah. I'm not completely sure that Zach isn't showing us things that he clicked and manipulated himself.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how 270 to win works on my computer.
Yeah,
where you can just kind of.
Regardless, though, like it's we're not going to get to the bottom of anything from the polls. We're going to find out next Tuesday, and it's going to be fucking fun to watch. I really hope that we know right away and that it's a landslide one way or the other. I don't even care who wins. I'm afraid of both of them. I'm genuinely afraid of both of them.
You don't want Trump in?
I'm genuinely afraid of both of them and their policies, Taylor. I worry that maybe
I don't like the free speech I hear from Harrison Walls at all.
I worry she'll be over her head in international affairs, and I worry that he'll maybe have some trials and put Nancy Pelosi on a guillotine or something crazy. Like I worry that he might go. I don't know. I don't know what
in
that man's thinking.
Even after he won, he's like, "We're not doing anything with Hillary. It'd be bad for the country."
Yeah, but that was before the last year that they
tried
spent
to do it. His attorney general
him.
refused to follow through.
You know, they're delaying his sentencing till after all the New York shit that he was found guilty on, those 40 felonies or whatever, until after this election. It behooves him to cement his safety going forward, rather than just hoping on a 4-year time period. Like, what if they sentence him to like 5 years of prison after his presidential term? Do you think he's leaving? Do you think he's leaving?
He didn't leave last time.
He's too old to serve.
I don't know how long he's going to live.
They're not going to throw an 84-year, or what would he be? 70 or 83, right? By the end of it?
82.
I thought he's
72.
Oh, he's pardoned by Vance.
He's 78.
Can he just pardon himself, would he?
Yes. I think he's a little untested, but I think he can pardon himself.
What a funny system.
Yeah.
You can just pardon. I bet he pardons Hunter Biden.
Oh, but I don't think he can pardon himself on state level.
That
becomes a tricky thing. That'd be nice of him.
Well, I'm sure Biden's going to pardon Hunter Biden, right? If he
doesn't, says he won't.
That'd be a big boy move if Donald pardoned him. I feel like
I could see that happening.
That'd win a lot of hearts and minds.
You could see Donald Trump pardoning Hunter.
No, I could not see it. But if
it's politically advantageous, like if it makes him look better in his mind, he'll do it. That's what he does. He does for like everything operating. He wants to look good. And so if like that's the way the tide's turning, I wouldn't put it past him.
I haven't seen Trump turn the other cheek. I haven't seen him, anytime the other team takes a shot at Trump, he never is like, you know what, let's be friends. Nope.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't. If he gets in, I hope he does go after a lot of the people who have been pulling this bullshit for a long time.
Like Hunter.
Like a tribunal, a military tribunal.
Ooh, a tribunal? A triumvirate? Yeah. We get 3 presidents now? No. We get Trump and Barron.
No, he's going to hold hearings.
And a wild card, a random citizen.
He's going to have those Saddam Hussein style hearings. Where he's just going to call forward people and he's going to pass judgment on them.
Yeah. I really dislike just how open both Harris and Walls have been with like, yeah, I mean, free speech doesn't protect hate speech and misinformation, and that needs to be shut down. It's like, no. No, that's not how free speech works. Free speech isn't there to protect people being like, go Ravens. It's to protect actually, controversial speech.
Well, I don't want to protect
the idea
Russian
that you can just
Russian
let
bots,
some.
Though.
The idea you can just let one political party or a bunch of rich oligarchs in big tech decide what is and isn't allowed to be said by the American public on the public square, which is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of these things.
I hear where you're coming from, but it's so difficult to get this right? Because at some point, telling people vaccines are bad and creating a movement that gets people to stop taking them, and not just the COVID one. I know that one's newer, but vaccines in general. RFK says they cause autism and the world should stop taking vaccines. But we know they do a lot more good than harm. And if you spread information like RFK does, it is more destructive than yelling fire in a theater. It's a problem.
Why can't he
on the other
make
hand,
his voice heard?
I have more to say. On the other hand, to your point, like it is really difficult to figure out what's right and what's wrong. I remember about the masks, right? At first you don't need masks. Then any mask will do. Then cloth masks are no good. And that changed. And you could get banned from Twitter by saying that it came from a lab in Wuhan instead of the bat market or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think they were doing that in good faith. And then it turns out they were working on perhaps wrong information. And if you censor people for saying shit that's not true, that could later turn out to be true, then you've done a terrible thing. So it is hard to censor, and if you want people to be right and not hurt other people, but you don't know for sure what's right, it puts you in a spot where you get shit wrong and it becomes a bad thing.
For me, it's very easy. Like, when in doubt, don't censor people. Like, if you're directly calling to harm someone or being like, go to this person's house and drag him out of, like, we all know can't do that shit. But the idea that like RFK can't go talk about the fucking his whatever platelet spinning shit he thinks Americans should do to be jacked, or if he like has a problem with some vaccines, like he should be able to say what he believes. And all it's going to do, if we
agree, it's just I'm trying to say it's really hard to draw that line and get it right all the time. It's like any kind of notes moderation,
this, right?
If you give them that credence, that leeway to do it, like we know the side that wants to censor misinformation, like they censored the mask stuff. They censored lots of stuff over the past few years that ended up being correct. And like, I don't give them all the faith of like, oh, they just got the information wrong. Like, no, they at some point knew the Hunter Biden laptop was real. Those intelligence agents knew that, and they lied, and it was set as misinformation. And so like, no matter who's in charge, whether it's Harris or Trump or whatever, like, I don't want that person to be able to go, oh, this thing that reflects poorly on me and my friends and my little enclave here, my donors, my big spenders. No, that's misinformation, actually. And questioning it loses you your YouTube channel. How do you like that? Loses you your Twitter account, your Facebook. Like, it's sinister, and it's always overused. Like, it never stops on one little thing. Like, they want more control over our speech online. And that's a huge threat, because that's all we have online now is speech here for the most part. Like that's why like Elon buying Twitter was a great thing. Like actually having a more uncensored, and he still censors plenty of stuff. There's still stuff censored on there.
He still censors stuff he doesn't like. And Twitter may have been somewhat political back in 2015, but what it is now is off the fucking charts. The owner of Twitter is literally going to Trump rallies and promoting Trump.
Yeah, the owner of Facebook is literally $400 million.
He's giving millions of dollars to people to vote in the way that he wants them.
More or less.
This is so far beyond the pale
more or less
of what
money
you didn't like about 2015 and 2016.
Hold on,
what he's doing now is fucking insane.
You had no problem with Mark Zuckerberg doing this.
A media company and is taking his bias and putting it out there 100 times more than existed 4 years ago or
That's
8
not
years
true.
ago.
Facebook
and you
was
don't see,
actively
not
covering
true.
up stories.
He's donating hundreds of millions of dollars to Trump's campaign. If Twitter had a bias before, it was subtle, and it was like a couple dick pics of the Hunter Biden. Now
they covered up information that was hurtful to Democrats in an election season. It wasn't subtle.
This isn't subtle. What's happening now is so far beyond what has ever happened before. Fucking literally, Elon Musk is on stage at Trump's rallies promoting him, paying people millions of dollars to vote for Trump.
I don't remember you having an issue with this 4 years ago when Elon Musk.
That's what I'm saying to you.
I'm sorry, not Elon Musk.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like, 4 years ago, I did have an issue with it, and I was a little like, it turns out they fucked that up, and I don't like it. But what they're doing now is so far beyond what they've done in the past. Now that Elon Musk, a Trump supporter, a future Trump cabinet member, they say, is owning Twitter.
I want to know, like, what is... Okay, so the owner of Facebook, a larger site than Twitter, by all metrics, he put $400 million, largely into Georgia, in the get out the vote portion of the Democratic outreach program. Like, that's what he did. And he used his position at Facebook to delegitimize stories like the Hunter Biden thing, anything negative about Biden and the Democrats. And he got rid of those stories. They know this. It's confirmed. And so this idea that now that Elon Musk on Twitter is doing something similar, that now it's this crazy beyond the pale thing. It's like billionaires are in our politics for better or worse. And I think it's probably almost always worse.
For the worst, for sure.
It's like happening.
What Zuckerberg did, if he donated, I didn't hear about him donating $400 million to the Democrats. That never got into my feed. But I can hear about Musk's, and it's happening right now. And it's also hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's not just like subtle ads or whatever. He's on the stage. He's jumping up trying to make an X in his dorky little
they banned whole stories negative about Biden from entire platforms
on X right now.
Do you think that's as impactful?
I think it shows the bias. Like what has happened to the conversations on X have shifted. Like my red friends, the ones who don't like to hear anything that they don't like to hear, are like, you have to go to Twitter to get the truth nowadays. Everything else is a lie, right? Because Twitter is a safe space for Republicans.
There's a ton of left-leaning people on Twitter.
Yeah, but I'm telling you,
it's a safe space.
It's definitely more right-wing now for sure.
Yeah,
but that's also just like
by design.
Elon Musk taking his thumb off the scales, and now
Elon Musk put his thumb on this scale. Elon
the thumb
Musk
was on the scales for years. They admitted this.
Guy. They changed the algorithm so that Elon Musk's tweets get special treatment above all else. And he retweets Republican talking points and Republican.
He's totally biased. Yeah.
And so he got upset when he wasn't the biggest tweeter on the planet. So they made him that algorithmically. That is finger on the scale. That is buying a publishing company and then pushing out your political message as the richest man the earth has ever seen. Bezos did the opposite. Bezos refused to endorse a candidate.
No, he refused to allow his newspaper to do the endorsement they wanted.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I should have said it that way. But Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, and he's doing sort of the opposite of what Elon Musk did, in that he's just staying quiet about who Washington Post.
I think it's because he probably sees the writing on the wall and that a Trump win is very likely, and he wants to be seen in a more positive light by that administration, because he has been
I somewhat agree with you, but I see it a little differently. I think he sees that if Kamala wins, there will be no punishment for failing to endorse her. But if Trump wins, there will be a punishment for endorsing the wrong person. So he's just going to stay quiet because Kamala will forgive him and Trump won't.
Maybe. I mean, but they endorsed his opponent in every other race.
Man, they stopped, right? Why does the Washington newspapers endorse people? Like, that's a thing that newspapers do.
Isn't that insane? Not the Washington. That we like you're supposed to read this stuff from the New York Times and be like, what a prestigious organization. Who'd they endorse? Oh, the same party every time. Every time for probably, 80. Yeah. And so our media is so corrupt. And I like more freedom of speech online, whether it's Elon giving it or Zuckerberg. He's not really known for doing that.
Or paid Russian disinformation activists,
if that's the cost,
Laura Loomer,
if that's the cost of having
the Russians to spread lies about the Ukraine war, is that the free speech we're protecting?
I would err on the side of allowing that versus shutting down whatever the current ruling party sees as threatening, because that's all that heavy censorship is. It's not about protecting people. It's about the people in power at that moment having the ability to solidify their stance and their ideology by banning speech outside of it.
But it is a problem when Russian pays American influencers $100,000 a video to spout Russian lies.
I agree. I don't like any foreign interference in our politics. That's why I've mentioned disliking AIPAC so much on this show. I don't like any of this foreign influence. America should be for Americans.
There's harmful disinformation, and I can't have what I want. I want the harmful disinformation to not be spread. But since I don't know where the harmful disinformation is until 2 years later, I can't get it right all the time. And because I can't get it right all the time, it's this it's better to let 100 guilty people walk free than to let one innocent man get convicted, sort of thing. That's where I am with censorship. And I just don't know how to get it perfect.
I want to talk about Elon's making his jumpy X, though, because that's got to be, I didn't realize he was trying to make an X at first.
Oh, where he's got his fucking midriff hanging out like a retard.
Dude, I am not a good jumper, but I've got a better vertical than Elon Musk.
I think Woody and I can out jump Elon, and we're not jumpsmen.
Why does he keep doing it? Because I'm sure he's seen photographs of him doing it, and it doesn't look good. And yet he
saw the crowd beg for it. They're like, do the X. It's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, but they're laughing at him. It's like a kid that stutters, and they're like, "Say, Mary had a little lamb."
Did you see Trump talking about him on Joe Rogan, where Trump was like, "You've been hanging out with Elon Musk a lot. Like, what's he like?" And Trump's like, "Great guy. This guy, he's such a good guy from another planet. This guy." Just talking about what Trump thinks he's a fucking weirdo.
Even 10 years ago, when Elon was the saving the world for the Democrats guy, I still couldn't find him to be a compelling speaker. He is one of the worst communicators who's ever been in his position.
The space stuff is cool, and I am so in favor of making Twitter more free speech. But outside of that, the boring company, don't care. Tesla, I'm not interested.
What about the flamethrowers?
Flamethrowers, no, don't care about that.
Flamethrower.
It's really the Twitter. It's the Twitter and the space stuff that's top tier from him.
Yeah.
I like his politics. I think he's just he's got some good takes. I love that he's got this program in Pennsylvania where he's like, there's $1 million prize that you randomly get if you register
Every
to
day.
vote or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I saw him give a big check to the winner, and it's like, he's made it a game show. It's beautiful.
Apparently that's illegal. And
while they're suing him, he didn't show up today for court.
Right. Which in my world means you automatically lose. But I just am assuming the rules are different for Elon and he'll never be punished and everything will be fine.
Of course. Like,
is it even illegal? Or are they like trying to?
I mean, I've seen it again and again. Do I know the law? No.
Yeah.
But
it seems like it should be.
It seems like we don't tend to actually enforce laws against the amount of money that billionaires and large corporations bandy about in the political world.
There's a thing we agree on.
Yeah.
Last week they also found out that he'd been having these private conversations with Putin for over 2 years, and Putin had asked him to not employ Starlink over Taiwan or something like that, or as a favor to China.
What is why we have Starlink over Taiwan? Just give internet over there?
Yeah. Well, he wants to make the whole planet like internet accessible. Like,
what's taking so long on that? I thought we were seeing more.
Well, he has the most satellites.
Satellites in space. Give him a minute.
Continuously.
Nah.
Generally
get moving.
Zach, show me. How about this? How many satellites do you think Elon Musk put into space this month?
35,000.
Wait, this month? I'm gonna say 34.
Yeah, I'll guess
that's
20.
Probably. I bet he a fucking 100. I bet each rocket's carrying like 50 of them or something.
Okay, fine. If he's popping 100 a month up there, I retract what I said.
Look, I'm guessing. I just know he's got thousands and thousands of them, and that like over 2/3 of existing satellites are Musk satellites. Like I can't see them with my eye, but I see people who are in the right area, and you see this line of fucking satellites moving through space. Was it 60 launching?
60 per launch.
60 per launch. How many launches this month?
I thought he meant one.
What I'm saying is,
either way, 60.
It was pretty sketchy to hear that about Musk, and I don't know. He's got so much power and so much wealth, and to be tied into those key industries as well is a little sketchy. He's not just like
making deals with Putin on the side. Like,
yeah, his wealth isn't in like snack foods, so it's a little scarier.
That's Mr. Beast now.
Yeah, right. Like,
no, they
heard that the CEO of Boeing was secretly meeting with Russia and, listening to his thoughts on what he'd like Boeing to do. It'd be like, what the? No, Boeing is for us. Boeing's an American company. But Elon Musk is also a defense contractor.
What does Musk
As of
say
the 26th, he'd had 22 launches of 60 per launch. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot. What did Musk say about the Putin thing?
I haven't heard Musk speak about it.
He said, vote Trump 2024, MAGA country. And then he did a little ha and he jumped.
I mean, did he do the yacht?
That's Howard Dean. So that might be before your time.
No, I remember Howard Dean.
Dude, I can't believe that was disqualifying for president. He let out an excited yell in a crowded environment, and I guess the mics picked him up and not all the crowd noise, and it made him sound crazy, and his campaign was over.
That was 2004, right?
Nowadays, you could literally get convicted of rape, and they're like, I'm going to bite. I stick with you.
We're going to
there's no media confidence the way there was.
They're going to
yeah. Your mic's muting you for all that because it knows that it doesn't want you to have this Dukakis moment.
What was his name?
Did my mic do something?
When you yell, your mic quiets you.
Oh,
so you need to
just happens like a couple times a show.
Calm down, big guy.
Howard Dean, that's who it was.
Yeah,
Howard Dean, Jimmy's political brother.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know. I'm not confident that Kamala's going to win, but if someone's confident Trump's going to win, then I think they're being silly.
Absolutely. I am not.
If I was forced to bet on it right now, it seems more likely Trump, and so I'd put my money there.
Yep.
But I'm not confident enough to put money on this.
Nope. Not at this juncture.
I heard some poll expert, he seemed non-biased, who was like, yeah, if anyone's confident that their choice is right, don't trust that guy. That guy's biased. I'm like, oh, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, for sure. Although, like, the algorithm is so fucking shitty, dude. There's like so many of these dweeb YouTubers who are like, I don't know, 22 years old, and they're election experts somehow. And it's like, I think this is your first election. You can vote, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, I see them too.
And And they've got the map out on 538 or 270 or whatever, and they're like, oh, we just ignore that one. This one. So you're just picking and choosing polls to believe, and then creating this forecast for this Trump Reagan-like sweep. California's in play, people. I'm saying it right now. Yeah. And then they show you a map of California, and I'm sure you've seen it before on Reddit or something, but California is mostly red. Like square footage wise, it's like 2 to 1 red or something like that. It's the population. Yeah. We've got blue cities, not blue states.
Yeah.
And then we've got states full of desert and prairie as well.
Yeah. The Republicans love to make it look like the bulk of the country is Republican, but it depends whether you measure by people.
The bulk of the land is.
It is. Yeah.
If the animals could vote, though, they'd probably go dim.
The animals?
Yeah, I guess that's where the vegetarians are.
Are you serious? The animals would go third party and we'd have new conquerors.
If you let the dolphins have a vote, I think that they vote Democrat. They're not stupid. They're not going to vote Jill Stein. Please. She doesn't care about the dolphins.
Dude, the dolphins would make their own party.
Yeah.
There's not enough American dolphins.
System.
Do you know the population of dolphins in the southern waters, Taylor?
No.
Clearly. It's not going to be a real... This is not going to be.
You don't think they're going to be a powerful voting bloc? The Gulf?
It's not going to be a powerful voting bloc at all. We're gonna.
They would be I was imagining they would be the leader animals, and they would like direct the cows, pigs, and chickens to be like.
They don't get a say. The cows and chickens are food.
The animals don't have their shit together. The dolphins vote for one guy. The porpoise votes for another, and it's all cracked votes either.
And it all comes down to who the pigs and cows and chickens pick,
and probably only the bottlenose dolphins. I think those are the big smart ones.
Certainly not those river ugly ones. Yeah.
The ones that evolved to lose their eyes, basically. It's just a slit now. Get out of here. Those yellow dolphins or whatever they are. Cool. Lemon dolphins? What are they called?
No, they're kind of reddish. Maybe that was a tint from the picture cameras. I remember the
I think bottlenose dolphins are like they're coming right up behind us intelligence. The Navy does crazy shit with dolphins, dude. All sorts of mine detection and like teaching them to go to enemy vessels and plant devices on them and then leave. Yeah.
Dude, eventually we're going to figure out their language.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had already done it to a rudimentary level in the military.
Then we figure out whales.
The Navy's had a program trying to talk to dolphins since World War II, since before World War II. So I wouldn't be surprised if they could tell a dolphin to see you tomorrow at 8. And the dolphin shows up on time and clocks in,
Like, what do you do? It's like, oh, I work for the CIA. It's like, oh, doing what? Like assassinating foreign despots, spy missions? He's like, no, I played Duolingo with with the dolphin 11 hours a day. I've been doing it for 35 years. We've made no progress.